Hello everyone, this is Eagle Al. Today I wanted to do a video on pellet guns and some of the benefits of pellet guns and just the fact that they're actually fun. First off, you can shoot a pellet gun like in the city, and all they just make is a little tapping sound, and the whole family could have fun with pellet guns, and you could do it without having to go to a range somewhere, as long as you make sure there's a safe, backstop behind it, so so if you miss, it doesn't travel where you don't want it to. But it's a good way to have fun at home. I have this current pellet gun rifle here, which I added a scope to. It's made by Crosman. It's the model 1077. This is a very popular brand as far as most stores carry this. On this particular one, it comes with a regular magazine that holds 12 pellets. You load all 12 in, and then each time you pull the trigger, it'll fire. So you got 12 shots before you have to reload. This particular one takes the CO2 cartridges. They're 12-gram CO2 cartridges. That's a common size. It's basically a bunch of pressurized air. I'll just say air, but CO2. And each time you pull the trigger, a blast of pressure comes out behind it, and that's what fires it. You can get pellet guns that don't require these tanks, and what they are is they're pump action. So each time you pump, there's like a kind of like a plunger type deal inside. And each time you pump, it puts a little more pressure in, like you're pumping up a bike tire. And it stores a bunch of pressure, and you'll pump them like 15, 20 times. And then when you pull the trigger, all that pressure is suddenly released. There's a benefit to both types. The benefit to this type is, let's say you're hunting, you're trying to kill like a little pest that's on your property, little rodents, or you don't want it staring at you while you sit there and pump a gun 20 times, making noise and moving your arm around. You want to just be able to kind of go out and pull the trigger and be done. Plus, with this type, you don't have to take the extra time to sit there and pump it 20, 30 times, however many it takes. So that's the advantage of this kind. It's basically easier. The advantage with the pump kind is you don't have to steadily spend money on the CO2 cartridges. All you got to do, buy you a couple canisters of the pellets. Like this little can here holds 250 pellets. It's like, I don't know, $8 or $9, but these are more premium ones. You can get a container of them for like as cheap as like $4. That shoots 250 pellets. So the money's pretty cheap, and it goes pretty long way. There's different types of pellets depending on what you're trying to do. There's more target type pellets that are more accurate, and that's what these are. They come to a really sharp point, and they're designed to be able to travel further and more accurate than like an entry-level pellet. There's pellets that are designed more for hunting. They destroy a little more tissue. Maybe they flatten out a little bit. So depending on what you're trying to do, you get different types of pellets, and there's different weights. Let's see what else. Those are the basics about it. I also wanted to mention that not only is it fun, but you get to practice trigger control, because on times when you're not shooting a real gun, you're still practicing how to pull a trigger slowly without, moving the gun, bouncing it or whatever. You get to practice aiming. So in a way, you're still kind of getting a little bit of practice in, even though it's not a standard firearm. So that's a nice thing. I'm going to take us outside and show you how accurate you can be with the pellet gun, because depending on the quality of the pellet gun and the quality of the scope and what also quality of pellets you choose, you can be seriously accurate. Now keep in mind, everything I'm shooting here, none of this is like top end, none of this is like expensive state of the art. A good rifle with a scope is easily $100, $130, $150. This is probably a $40 or $50 rifle. So with a $40 or $50 rifle and a $20 scope, $70 total invested, I'm going to show you what kind of accuracy I can get. So let's come with me. As a general rule, a higher end pellet rifle is a little over $100, but in all honesty, it can climb a lot if you really want to like get crazy with it. But I'm going to take you here and show you what kind of accuracy you can get. Okay, so right here, these are they're called shoot and see targets. These are amazing because the whole target is solid black, and every time you shoot, it turns a bright fluorescent green, so you don't have to walk all the way up to it to see where you've hit. Like it's so clear, so easy on your eyes. That target, the camera isn't showing you, but this target, this entire circle is maybe 3.5 inches tall, about 3.5 to 4 inches tall. So it's very small. It's about the size of maybe a squirrel's head, an adult squirrel's head. I measured the distance I was shooting from with a tape measure so I could tell you how accurate it is. If you notice, I've fired 12 rounds. About 9 out of those 12 rounds have hit that 3.5 inch target, and then 3 of them were running just a little bit low. But if you can tell, the majority of them are just in a cluster right here, right in the middle, and they're running just a little bit low. The further away you aim, where the bullet hits is going to begin to drop a little bit more and a little bit more, just because of the gravity effect. So if you shoot too far away, you're going to end up hitting a little bit low. So you got to tune in your scope based on the distance you want to shoot at. And I've got it tuned in to just about where I want, because I don't want to shoot any further than that as a general rule. It's 35 feet. So I'm going to show you here. There's the target. Come across my yard. It's pretty much the entire length of my backyard. It was 35 feet from where I was standing to the actual target, which is pretty decent. So we turn around, and then there's what it looks like when you're aiming. So as you can tell, when you're aiming, it looks like it's pretty far away. And at that distance, the distance of my entire backyard, you can see me walking towards it. At that entire distance, all 12 shots was in an area no wider than, if you measure the furthest distance at any point on the entire spectrum, there's no more than a 2 inches of variance of any of those shots, maybe 2.5 inches. So this is Eagle Owl. Thanks for watching.